Do you ever feel like everyone's always talking about you? I mean, with 7 billion people on this planet, it's hard to imagine how so many people seem to know so much about you. It's even harder to believe that they've even talking about you for hundreds or even thousands of years. But for some reason, they have. For example, did you know that redheads were considered witches in ancient Egypt? How about the fact that they used to burn them at the stake in Ireland? And what about that time when an entire civilization was wiped out because of their ginger hair? You heard me right. There are plenty of stories surrounding redheads throughout history. So let's take a look at some of them, shall we? Hey there, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at the truth about gingers. We all know someone who fits this description, but how much do we really know about them? How many of these statements about gingers are actually true and how many are just made up? If you don't know much about gingers, then this video will tell you everything you need to know. So sit back and enjoy as we uncover the truth about gingers. There are many stereotypes and misconceptions about redheads, which may lead to misunderstanding and prejudice against them. But the truth is that they are just as human as anyone else, and should be treated with the same respect and dignity. Let's start by exploring some of the negative stereotypes and misconceptions about redheads. Then we will move on to the positive aspects of being a redhead, and finally discuss how we can promote understanding and acceptance of redheads in our society. Redheads are often portrayed as having a fiery or volatile temper, meaning that they are quick to anger or become upset. This stereotype may have originated from the association between the color red and excitement, passion, and anger. However, there is no scientific evidence to support this claim, and it is likely just a generalization that does not apply to all redheads. Another common misconception is that redheads are more impulsive and less rational than other people. This stereotype may stem from the belief that redheads are more emotional, but again, there is no evidence to support this claim. But wait, there's more. Redheads are also believed to have a higher pain tolerance than others. The idea that redheads can handle pain better than others is a persistent myth that has been around for centuries. This belief is likely rooted in folklore and mythology rather than scientific evidence. One popular theory suggests that the myth originated from the belief that redheads were more connected to the supernatural world. As a result, they were seen as having special powers or abilities, including the ability to withstand pain more than others. However, there is no scientific evidence to support this claim. Now let's talk about the light side of things. Redheads often have a unique and striking appearance that sets them apart from others. Their red hair is a result of a genetic mutation that affects the production of melanin, the pigment that determines hair, skin, and eye color. This mutation occurs in the melanocortin 1 receptor gene, which is located on chromosome 16. And if both parents carry one copy of the mutated gene, there is a 25% chance that their child will inherit 2 copies of the gene and have red hair. Being a redhead means that you belong to a small and exclusive group of people. According to the National Library of Medicine, only 1 to 2% of the world's population has red hair, making them a rare and unique group of people. The good news is that science has come a long way in recent years, and we now know that red hair is caused by a simple genetic mutation. This has helped to dispel some of the myths and superstitions that have been associated with redheads for centuries. Thanks to our increased understanding of genetics, we now know that redheads are just as normal and healthy as anyone else. In fact, studies have shown that red hair is associated with certain health benefits, such as an increased resistance to pain and a lower risk of certain types of cancer. So now that we know the science behind red hair, let's take a look at some of the historical beliefs and superstitions that have surrounded redheads throughout history. The Egyptians believed that redheads were the children of the devil and were often burned alive as sacrifices. This belief likely stemmed from the Egyptians' fascination with mummies and their belief that the dead could be brought back to life. They believed that redheads had a special connection to the afterlife and that their blood could be used to resurrect the dead. Of course, we now know that this is not possible, but it didn't stop the Egyptians from trying. Moving on, we have the Irish, who had a different kind of belief. The Irish believed that redheads were witches, who had made a pact with the devil. This belief led to the persecution of many redheads in Ireland, and some were even burned at the stake. Fortunately, these practices have since been outlawed, but the stereotype persists to this day. But what about the Vikings? Well, they took things a step further. The Vikings believed that redheads were the offspring of giants, and that they possessed superhuman strength and endurance. Because of this, they often recruited redheads for dangerous missions and raids. But when the redhead didn't return alive, they assumed that he died a hero's death in battle, even though he may have simply gotten lost or killed by a wild animal. And then we have the Native Americans, who had a more positive view of redheads. They believed that redheads were blessed by the gods and that they possessed healing powers. This belief led to the creation of legends and myths about redheaded healers and medicine men. These stories were passed down through generations and continued to be told today. But let's not forget about the Scottish, who were known to be obsessed with redheads. In the 18th century, a balding epidemic swept through Scotland, and the Scottish became desperate for a cure. they turned to redheads, believing that their unique hair color gave them special powers over hair growth. This led to the kidnapping of many redheads and the use of their hair in balding treatments. While this practice eventually stopped, the Scottish obsession with redheads continued. They began to see redheads as a symbol of national pride and identity, and this stereotype continues to this day. So as you can see, redheads have been both revered and persecuted throughout history. Their unique hair color has led to a wide range of beliefs and superstitions, and they have often been seen as different from other people. However, despite the negative stereotypes and misconceptions that have been associated with redheads, they are just as human as anyone else. They deserve to be treated with the same respect and dignity that we would want for ourselves. This video was created to raise awareness of the unique challenges that redheads face due to their distinct hair color and to promote understanding and acceptance of redheads in our society. By spreading awareness of the struggles that redheads face, we can work towards creating a more inclusive and tolerant society for everyone. Whether you are a redhead yourself or simply someone who wants to learn more about the challenges that redheads face, we hope that you've enjoyed this video and learned something new. Remember that we're all in this together, and that includes redheads too. Let's strive to create a world where everyone feels accepted and valued for who they are. If you found this video interesting, please hit the like button and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and leave a comment below to let us know what you think. Your feedback is important to us and helps us create more engaging videos for you. Thank you for watching and see you next time.